Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And once again, I am here live at Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Day number 3 of on the field drills. Today is one of the most exciting times for a lot of football fans because you're going to get some offense. All right, last night, Friday night, we seen the tight ends take the field from the offensive side of the football. But today, you're going to see the quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers take the field. And we know that our team, the New Orleans Saints, they desperately need guys at that position. So this is going to be interesting. But the topic we're going to be discussing here today is, should the New Orleans Saints trade up for a quarterback? And the reason we're having this conversation is because we know now that the New Orleans Saints have interviewed both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. And we know that both guys are going to be pretty high draft picks. The New Orleans Saints are there at number 9, and the likelihood of Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders being there by the time the Saints pick at 9, I mean, I just think that's just wishful thinking, especially when you know that you have teams that are in front of the New Orleans Saints that need quarterbacks, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants, the Jets, as well as the Raiders, right? So interesting to know or see, well, will the New Orleans Saints be able to, aggressively try to move up? I mean, we know that the Saints have made a commitment to Derek Carr, which, I mean, I guess, we all understand why. It has a lot to do with the contract and the hefty price tag that he has. But we've seen in the past where teams say that they're committed to a quarterback, but they will go out in a draft and they'll end up drafting another quarterback. We've seen this last season with the Atlanta Falcons, where they paid Kirk Cousins, I want to say, a 4-year deal over $100 million, and they still drafted Michael Penix with the 8th pick last season. Now, you have an opportunity to eat a hefty price tag with Kirk Cousins because you actually have a rookie quarterback that's not going to demand the majority of the cap. And by the time Michael Penix is up to get paid, if he plays well, you don't have to worry about, the price tag of Kirk Cousins anymore. So you still have opportunity to build your team and also be able to have a quarterback of the future. So I'm looking at the possibility with the New Orleans Saints. And, I look at this draft board as I pull this up. I want to look at the draft order here in the 2025 draft. And I'll just go ahead and take a look. I mean, we know that the Tennessee Titans have the first pick in the draft. I mean, we know that, the Tennessee Titans, they could possibly hold on to Will Levis for at least one more year. And, they can possibly maybe trade for that first overall pick to another team, especially like a team like the Giants or the Jets, or, teams that actually need quarterbacks that they can possibly kind of swap places with, where they can still get themselves a really good player at, the number 5 pick or the number 6 pick. But you have the Cleveland Browns, who more than likely will make, will draft a quarterback, rather it's Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I mean, as a matter of fact, I was looking at their social media site, and they had both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders on the site. as if, hey, we're going to pick one of these guys. So I don't know if that's just a way of them kind of using some leverage or trying to be competitive. I don't know what the heck going on. Maybe they felt like maybe posting that other teams will take a look and be like, let me make a phone call to see if I can trade into that spot. Then you also have the Giants, who desperately need a quarterback. I mean, Brian Daboll, their general manager, I mean, you got to believe that they're on a hot seat going into the 2025 season. So a quarterback is going to be able to help them be able to keep their jobs. Then you have the New England Patriots. I mean, the New England Patriots don't need a quarterback. They got Drake May. It's more of them needing a wide receiver. And Jaguars have a quarterback. Vegas don't have a quarterback. So there's a couple of teams that are, in the top 5 that if the Saints were to possibly make a trade with that team, I'm pretty sure that a team will listen. But my question is to you, and feel free to comment and put it into the chat. Would you be open to seeing the New Orleans Saints or considering trading up for a quarterback? I mean, I think that the future is definitely the future is dim when it comes to the quarterback position in the eyes of the franchise. You have to believe that. Like, no matter if you like Spencer Rattler or not, I think the fact that they still want to hold on to Derek Carr pretty much tells us that it's kind of lukewarm when it comes to Spencer Rattler. Like, you can want Spencer Rattler to start all you want to. I mean, I would prefer that. I just think that by not allowing him to start, I just think that you're playing yourself, because you can probably win some games that you wouldn't win with Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback, but is that going to give you the success that you seek? Is that going to be a division title? Is that going to be a playoff appearance? And I have to say no. I don't think that it is. I mean, and it's not going to generate any excitement, and it's not going to make the team appealing. As a matter of fact, when the news story came out about Derek Carr, being with the New Orleans Saints in 2025, I just feel like the energy of the Who Dat Nation just died. Like, seriously, I don't think anybody's really taking this season serious. It's going to have to take some monumental football playing for the New Orleans Saints, for the fans and people to actually get on board with the New Orleans Saints. And it's going to have to take a Herculean effort by Derek Carr himself in order to change the narrative of what people feel about him as the quarterback of the Saints. But I really do appreciate it. Once again, here at the NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium, we got a few more minutes, probably like less than an hour, as the Combine is going to start. It's starting a little bit earlier today. You got 3 different positions that are going to be taking part in drills. So it's going to be a very, very long day. So I guess they're starting a little bit early. I was walking over here to the stadium. I mean, they have a lot of people that were waiting outside, man. They're anticipating, some really good, talented offensive players that are going to take the field. So I'll keep you up to date. Of course, follow me on X at TJAYJones8 for up-to-date information pertaining to some of the players at the NFL Combine. I actually got an opportunity earlier today to speak with some offensive linemen. Calvin Banks, the offensive lineman from the University of Texas, who is rated very highly, going to be one of the top offensive linemen taken off the board. And also LSU's own Will Campbell. I got an opportunity to talk to him as well. Both guys said that they talked to the New Orleans Saints, and I'm going to share their experience in just a second. But I do want to acknowledge everybody in the chat, everybody that is watching this right now, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for making this show what it is and make it very, very exciting to bring it to you. I'm really, really excited to be here and also be able to provide content here for you all. But let me go ahead and get started here. It says, Cartel says, TJ, if we did decide to move up, what do you think it will cost for us to move up in the draft? Well, Cartel, I was actually kind of talking about this a little bit earlier with some more members of the media. I was talking to them and I said, what if the New Orleans Saints were to trade their number 9 pick and Chris Olave? Like, something like that. Like the number 9 pick, Chris Olave, and I don't know, like a second for next year or something like that. But it would probably have to take something like that. I feel like if the New England Patriots, let's just say New England Patriots, for example, even though I still feel like you still kind of playing around, right? Because Tennessee might draft a quarterback, Cleveland might draft a quarterback. So that might be your two quarterbacks being taken off the board like that, right? But let's just say the Tennessee Titans end up drafting, a dual Carter or something like that. They still feel like, oh man, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to go ahead and draft him. And, we know that he's going to be a monster five defense, right? Let's just say that, right? So that gives you an opportunity to possibly talk to or negotiate with like the New England Patriots. Because, Cleveland ain't going anywhere. Like Cleveland, they probably going to more than likely draft one of these quarterbacks. But like I said, looking at this list here, right, you get New England or say you try to make a deal, with Tennessee, which, to me, I think it's going to take a king's ransom if you get the number one pick overall. Like, I don't think you need to go as far as what the Chicago Bears did to the Carolina Panthers, but it's going to have to take some stuff, man. It's going to have to take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, like, not being drafted by the Cleveland Browns or the Tennessee Titans. So you probably, could do it if the New England Patriots, are sitting right there, and let's just say Cam Ward gets drafted and Shedeur Sanders doesn't, and the teams, before them end up picking, something else, which I think the Giants are definitely going to draft a quarterback regardless, right? And, so that's the only team I can really honestly look at and be like, man, I think New England, would be, considering trading up, trading down and giving the Saints the fourth pick, because they still can get a wide receiver, or if the Saints was to trade Olave, they would have a wide receiver for Drake May, a number one guy. But it would have to take something like that. Loomis made a bad deal, and we are stuck, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a pretty bad deal. But I think that it was one of those situations where Mickey Loomis trusts Dennis Allen and his expertise, and he wanted to give Dennis Allen an opportunity to build the team the way that he wanted. Excuse me. I don't think that it was wrong. Like, I don't. Like, think about this, right? So let's just say that you apply for a job, you got the job, right? And the manager, the hiring manager asks you, says, I don't know, what do you think it would take for you to do this job successfully? Right? Okay, you'll say, I don't know. I think maybe I can do, I need this, right? I need these tools, or I need this equipment, right? In order for me to do my job effectively. That's with any job, right? So with Dennis Allen, he felt that Derek Carr would put the Saints in the best position to succeed and also give him job security, which is absolutely insane when you say it out loud. But it was fair for the organization to give Dennis Allen the quarterback that he wanted, plain and simple. But like I said, I did mention that I spoke with two offensive linemen. I talked to Will Campbell as well as Kelvin Banks. I'll start with Kelvin Banks. I talked to him and asked him, did he talk to the New Orleans Saints? This is what he said.
Yes, sir. I met with the New Orleans Saints.
All right. What was that experience like?
It was great. Yeah. Kind of came in. They kind of threw a couple of their schemes at me, and I had to learn it. And I feel like it went good. I was able to pick it up pretty fast. Any question they asked me, I was able to respond well back to it. So it was a great week.
What do you think? I like Kelvin Banks a lot, man. It seemed like the Saints were really trying to pick his mind. I was actually kind of shocked, man, that they was like they really were trying to figure out, about him. And I know the offensive line hasn't really been brought up because, we're so excited about that 9th pick and possibly, getting guys like James Pierce Jr. or, McMillan. But we know that the offensive line it's the straw that stirs the drink. We know that the New Orleans Saints have picked offensive linemen more than any other team in the first round. I want to say in NFL history, but at least in the last 20 years, the New Orleans Saints have picked more first-round offensive linemen than any other team. So the Saints love themselves some offensive linemen in the first round. And, Calvin Banks is a guy that can, fit on your offensive line. You got Trevor Penning, his Saints. I guess life is kind of in the air there. You got some offensive line issues where you had some plug and play guys, and you also got to be able to fix what's going on that left guard side. So if you were to draft the offensive lineman, I wouldn't be mad at that. We know that the New Orleans Saints want to run the football. I feel like if you're going to win something or win some meaningful football games, you're going to have to probably rely on the running game. Luckily for the New Orleans Saints, they have Alvin Kamara, and this is a very deep draft for the running back. So if they don't get Ashton Janty, if they don't get somebody like that in the first round, then they still have other picks that they can actually choose from, and they can pick up a running back. I mean, Omarion Hampton is one guy. Ali Gordon is another guy. I mean, there's so many different ways the New Orleans Saints can approach this situation. So add an offensive lineman, I wouldn't be mad at that at all, man. Wouldn't be mad at it at all. That would actually be amazing, if they was this to add to the offensive line. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, we talked about this before. Like, I understand that we all have our preferences. We like that nice shiny toy, especially if we can hand the ball off to him. He can throw a pass or catch a ball down the field. But I feel kind of bad for offensive linemen because they don't get the respect that they deserve. Like, even during the presser, like, man, it was so dead in that room. I mean, they had other media people there, but nobody was paying attention to those guys like that, man. But the crazy thing about it is, if their quarterback gets sacked or hurt, everybody's going to be talking about how bad they are. But they are one of the most important parts of any team. So I got to give credit to the big men. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I like Ryan Ramczyk, like one of my favorite players, Jari Evans. Like, those guys work hard, man. And anybody that ever played football, that ever played running back, wide receiver or something, like, man, you just have respect for the big men. You know what I'm saying? You just do, man. Like seriously. So I wouldn't be mad if they were to get Calvin Banks. I think that he's a really smart football player. I think that he has a mean streak, and he has a level of physicality I feel like the New Orleans Saints can desperately use on the offensive line. You put him next to Talese Fuaga, and then maybe next season, you know what I'm saying, he can slide over the right tackle, or you can put Talese at right tackle and him at left tackle. My goodness, man. You got yourself some anchors, man, and you can get back to that offensive line that the New Orleans Saints had back in the days, man, when they was running the football and guys was, man, I mean, they was knocking guys on their behinds. I miss those days, man. You don't know what you have until it's gone. But I did speak to another offensive lineman, Louisiana's own Will Campbell, born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana, northern Louisiana. And, of course, we know that he is a star. He was a star for the LSU Tigers. And, of course, I asked him about did he speak to the New Orleans Saints? Of course, just trying to see, did the team speak with him, and how would it feel to play for a team that he grew up watching, man? I mean, Monroe, Louisiana is just a few hours away from New Orleans, but I mean, that's somewhere where, a lot of people know. Like, shouts out to my mom and my grandparents, they stay maybe about an hour away from Monroe, Louisiana. So, this is a guy that has a lot of talent, and I asked him, what would it be like to be a member of the Saints?
Actually, got an opportunity to speak with the Saints. Being from Louisiana, being people only from Louisiana understand what football means in that state. To be able to not only represent myself, my family, and, that organization, to be able to represent the state of Louisiana again would mean everything to me.
Oh, you mentioned.
And also, I want to give a special shout out to Trizzy, man. Trizzy doing an outstanding job out there, man. His folks on the ground out here. Much love to him, man. I mean, he's been posting videos and stuff like that. And I appreciate the support, man. I mean, amazing guy. And, man, he's killing it right now. So I want to give a special shout out to him and so many other outlets, man, that that has been supporting of the videos that I've been posting, man. I mean, I really do appreciate that. That means a lot. I just want to let y'all know that, man. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments. Let's try to get through some of them before we get up out of here. Jerry, we appreciate you being here while y'all running errands. Says TJ, would you feel? Let's see. Would you feel like they playing poker with us and trying to bluff everyone on making deals? I got to know who you were talking about, Greg. Are you talking about the Saints bluffing or another team bluffing? Because I mean, they got a lot of bluffing going on around here, man. I'm telling you, like it's crazy. Like a lot of this stuff it's competitive, man. Like I know when you're watching the combine and watching the guys on the field, you're like, man, they competing out there. No, man, the front office is competing. Like they are putting in information out there, about guys to maybe turn other teams off so they can be there when they pick, right? Like you're hearing stories, surrounding Shedeur Sanders, a dual Carter situation, like him needing surgery, all these different things that we are hearing, right? It basically gives another team a competitive advantage. You learn a lot being out here at the combine, man. Just like I learned that Darren Rizzi is a pimp, but there's another story for another day. All I'm saying is there is a lot of competition going on, and it's pretty, what I'm saying? Like everybody's trying to get the best picks possible. They're trying to get the best players possible to change the misfortunes of a franchise. And I mentioned on the last show, when you are picking in the top 5, if you're a general manager, you're probably on a hot seat and you desperately need to get it right. Or you're a brand new general manager that is trying to set the tone for where the organization can go. So a lot of people are under pressure, unless you're Mickey Loomis. I mean, you pretty much made out of Teflon. I mentioned that too. All I'm saying is they're trying to do everything that they can do in order to create leverage. I can let you know. I can let you know that, all right? For real, like a lot of these questions and stuff like that, a lot of things that are being asked on the ground or what organizations want to know. TJ, was Shedeur Sanders not elected not to throw? Do you think it gives Cam Ward a up being selected at first quarterback? No, I don't. These guys are really smart, man. These scouts are smart. I mean, they watch hours upon hours of tape on these players, man. They know everything about them. These organizations do their due diligence. So them throwing at a combine is not going to affect their decision if they want to get Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Now, some of these other guys, right? Like Gabriel, Dylan Gabriel, or Riley Leonard, like these guys, like with a solid performance at the NFL Combine, they can raise their stock. But Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, they pretty much solidified. And regardless if they run a 40 or throw a pass down the field, nobody cares, man. I mean, these organizations know what they're going to have if they were to draft either one of those guys. So to me, I don't think it hurts the top players. I think it hurts guys that maybe, think or been told that they have this particular spot or they're projected to be drafted here. And they say, okay, man, I want to make sure I'm good right here. I'm good. Okay, they said I might go at 13. Okay, I'm good with that, right? But let's just say they got you going at 13 because they feel like you're going to have a good combine. You're going to run a 40. They're going to see you run a 40. They're going to see you catch passes, etc. And then all of a sudden you don't do anything. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these guys, they elect to do pro day. Maybe it's because, the combine is so high profile, right? Everybody's talking about it, right? You go on social media, everybody's tweeting about who ran a 40, who looked bad, all these different things, right? But when you go to these pro days, they're pretty much, covert in so many ways, like they're not like out in the open, so many members of the media might show up, but it's not to a point where everybody's really paying attention to it. right? They kind of control the narrative. They can kind of create this bubble for themselves. They can feel comfortable and be able to be in a controlled environment. So, but I don't think it's going to affect. I don't. I don't think it's going to affect the draft stock, Cam Ward draft stock. Teams know what they have before they even pick. At least they should. Either keep our pick or trade back. Yeah, I would say keep the pick. I would say keep the pick unless you trade back and it's worth your while. Like if they're gonna give you a second round pick or something like that to add to the first round. Like I'm good with that. I'm good with it, right? Because this draft is so deep at defensive lineman. It is deep at running back. You can get yourself a really good wide receiver in the second round, third round. I'm telling y'all, they got some dogs out here. I'm telling you. So all this stuff about, oh man, we need this, we need that, and oh, I can't believe we didn't get Ashton Genty, or like it sucks, but they got players that are going to be drafted third, fourth, fifth round. I'm telling y'all, going to end up being first team all pros. It is a deep draft, and if the Saints do their due diligence, if they go out here and get the right guys, I guarantee you're going to be satisfied with who they select, because it's a really good draft with a lot of really good players on running backs. Let me pull this up. Right? Let's just say Ashton Genty. It doesn't, go to the Saints. Let's just say somebody, I don't know, Dallas tries to jump back in here, right? Because they're hearing that the Saints want to draft Ashton Genty, so they try to jump the Saints in order to get him. I mean, I already mentioned. I mean, you got Ollie Gordon, Omarion Hampton. You got Trevelyan Henderson. You got Caleb Johnson. You got Cam Scatterboo. You got Jaden Blue. You got Trevor Etienne. I mean, look at these names, man. And all these guys have been productive. And Quinshawn Judkins. I mean, I didn't even mention him. Like, all these guys have been productive, played at a high level, played big time college football, and they'll be great additions to the team. So it's not the end of the world, man, if you don't get Genty. Even though, I mean, he's a generational talent, but you still will have yourself a productive running back if you were to get one in the third round or the fourth round. So stay at 9, and if a quarterback we like drop, cool, take him. If not, build the trenches. Yeah, I don't think any one of these guys are dropping, man. I don't. I think a lot of this stuff is just clickbait and guys want you to read their articles. Man, these teams want to win, and these front office people want to stay employed. So they're going to go with the best players. Like that's what they're going to do. They're going to get the best players. If the team need a quarterback, they're going to draft a quarterback and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what they should do, right? I mean, listening to Monday Morning Quarterback is not going to save your job. And while you up here second guessing yourself, you're going to be out of a job anyway. So the best thing for you to do is just focus on the goal, focus on the task at hand, which is drafting quality players. Rather it is an offensive lineman, rather it is a running back, rather it is a wide receiver. Whoever you feel like is going to help your team make an immediate impact on the team, that is who you select. And that's for any organization. LMAO, not a pimp. Nah, man. Hey. Another story for another day. Another story for another day. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Caleb Johnson? I think that he's a really talented guy, like based on the tape. And shouts out to Josh, man. I mean, Josh has been telling me about Caleb Johnson for a while. I mean, after I watched the tape and just watching him in person, man, I mean, physically opposing guy, smart football player, played at Iowa. Iowa is kind of, to me, they like the Pittsburgh Steelers of the Big Ten. You know, they got a lunch pail mentality, smash mouth offensive line always, smash mouth running game, always play really good sound defense, kind of a throwback style team. You know, I think it's only right that they actually wear the colors that they wear, because they definitely resemble that of some of those old school Steelers teams, right? You know, they just have a lunch pail mentality, man. And he is no different. I think that he can be a quality back for you. I think that he can be a really good change of pace back. Got really good pad level, good balance. And, you know, I think that he will be a difference maker on any team that ends up drafting him. So I think he's talented, man. I think he's talented. I definitely scrolling down. Let's see. What do I think about Darian Porter? I mean, I think that, you know what I'm saying, he's a talented guy. Played, you know what I'm saying, played pretty well, you know what I'm saying, like as far as you know, at his position, you know what I'm saying. I'm just, you know, looking at his stats, and I mean, I thought he played pretty decent, you know what I'm saying, throughout the time, you know, he was at Iowa State. But you know, I think that he's going to be able to, like, I think that he's probably going to be like one of those guys that might get picked a little bit later in the draft, but probably gonna make an impact because, like I said, man, you know, these guys, Iowa State, man, they always seem to find a way to, you know, to find a way on the field, and when they do, they just make an impact. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. So I think that he's. Hold on, y'all saying my mic going in and out? Hold on, my bad. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Saying the mic going in and out. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. All right, let me see. All right, let me restart it. I restart. All right. What about now? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? I do it. All right. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. I know I kind of lost a few people, and I apologize for that. You got thousands of people in one building. I mean, sometimes that can affect the stream. Okay, so it's still cutting out. You know, I apologize, folks. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. And I just want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And let me see if I can just change what I do is. Let me see if I can change this. Trying to see if I can cut this microphone off. Maybe that'll do the trick. All right. Can y'all hear me now? Is it still going in and out? Somebody let me know. I'm good. I'm hearing you're good. I hear you're breaking up. But okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. You can follow me on X. I'm about to go inside to watch the NFL Combine. So follow me on TJAY Jones 8. All right, TJAY Jones 8 on X for all your up-to-date information on the NFL Combine. And also, you can check out previous episodes here of the State of the Saints podcast. And if I get back to my my Airbnb a little bit earlier than anticipated, then I'll probably just do like a breakdown of what I saw today in this final day. Well, not final day, but the day of the quarterbacks, running back, and wide receivers watching their drills. I'll let you all know what I've seen so far. All right. I really do appreciate the time. Much love to you. Sorry about the technical issues, but I will be, like I said, we'll be tweeting and providing information on social media. Till next time, all I got to say is
thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.